You seem to still be up there somewhere.
Maybe I am. There are flying saucers.
Supposing they're Martians or something in there.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm itsasherz and this is
Cassie.
And also
Scott.
Scott, welcome to the podcast. You're a first timer.
Yes, I am.
Wow, so lucky. Hey, everybody's got their first time, right? Hopefully this is a story to tell, right, of the ages. Super excited to have you here with us. Can't wait to get into what it is that you are bringing to Frogman to wrap up our Frogman Hype Month. I need to make Nate put something in there for that, right? We need like a yay or something.
Right.
Go Frogman.
Yeah, yes, Frogman, yes. We will, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Not next week. I do apologize, guys. Next week, I just can't do it, y'all. I'm going to be Frogmaned out because this weekend is the Frogman Festival, and I'm just going to be still recovering because I'm old and it takes me a few days. So leave me alone, all right? And we'll come back the week after that, and we'll give you guys something even stranger, probably, I'm sure.
Woohoo.
Either way, Scott, how was you're the guest, so you get to go first. How was your weekend?
My weekend was watching things and then editing 2 documentaries about me. And now it's weird. I actually teach a class on filmmaking at the Ohio State University.
Wow.
And I teach them how to make films, like narrative films, storytelling films. And also there's a documentary, and I don't want to drag somebody in off the street. And I don't want them to do it because I want them to see how to make a documentary. So I say, just interview me and I'll show you, I'll explain techniques, how to ask questions and all that stuff. So I edited 2 documentaries about myself, not because I have an ego. I don't want to sucker anybody else into my class.
That's really cool.
That is cool. Hey, honestly, that's a sweet gig, right? You get into something like film or, any of this stuff, right? You get really into it, and it's hard to find a regularly paying job that has to do with your passion. So,
Oh yeah.
good for you.
Well, it's my insurance. That's what I always say. My wife goes, "You can never quit that job. It's paying for our insurance."
Oh my gosh. I know. I was telling somebody, I was like, do you guys know I have a pension? Isn't that crazy?
Well, I'm just an adjunct, so I only teach 2 classes. So that pension is $10, but it is something.
Hey, so many people that don't have one. No, very cool. That sounds really, really neat and really exciting. I'm sure you see all kinds of really cool short films and stuff from the students in general. So
Half of them are good. Half of them are like, just suffer through. They're learning. This is a class.
well,
It's not for film majors. It's for anybody. And I can get some really fun, cool people. And then you get I thought this was going to be, I just point my, phone at something and I don't have to do any work. And then they're heartily surprised. It does take work, and it's not work for me. It's always fun. I mean, it's the reason I make movies.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to have fun with stuff like that. Otherwise, you're never gonna finish it. That's
Oh yeah.
you got to be passionate about your craft. Well, very exciting. Well, Cassie, people haven't heard from you. How was your last 2 weekends? You were gone last week.
Yeah, let's see. The first one wasn't too great. Like I got sick and my voice, like every time I spoke, my voice felt like my throat felt like it was on fire. So I knew I couldn't do the podcast. But good thing we have guests, so I didn't have to be here, but I did miss out on somebody that I actually wanted to be here for. Another reason I'm sad that I'm not going to Frogman.
Oh
But
no.
Yeah,
huh?
James said you guys are gonna fight. That's what he told me.
That me and James are fighting?
That's what he said. He's very offended that you weren't here and that you guys have to fight now to the death.
Oh man, he's gonna win because I'm not gonna hit him. Um, so just so he knows,
Aw.
he can celebrate now.
Oh, he didn't say that. I
I
just
know.
made it up.
Well, he has to sleep at some time. Come on.
No, last week I asked him if he ever slept. He said no, he does not, and I believe him.
So my dad came up a week early from Arizona, and we ended up having my niece's birthday party Saturday. So we got that out of the way this weekend, and she's super cute. And yeah, the hung out with my dad on Sunday, and then came home and started drawing because I signed up for a show down the street real quick, and now I need to make a bunch of stuff. So Nate's probably going to kill me because he can hear my markers moving. But you know, you're a good producer, Nate.
The best in the world. Yeah, he puts up with a lot of shit from us. Poor guy. I don't pay him enough, but
What'd you do?
what did I do? I published a book. It's no big deal. It's no big deal.
No.
But yeah, no, I published my second book, Your Strange Guide to Ohio, Volume 1, covering southwestern Ohio, which of course is my home and home to our amphibious friend this week in the Loveland Frogman. So check that out. Well, you can't check it out yet. It is debuting officially at the Frogman Festival this weekend. You can purchase it along with Jeff Craig and I who were forward for the book. We are bundling his Hidden Ohio map with the Ohio books. So you can purchase a map and book bundle together, or you can just purchase each one separately if you want to, I guess. I don't know why you would, but you could. So, I don't know. Check that out. But that has been like all I've been doing is hyper focusing on this fucking book.
Tell him who did the cover.
So I just used AI for the cover. I'm just kidding. Cassie did an amazing job on the cover.
I was super excited. I could finally say something about it.
And no, you really did. And I feel bad because I made the whole post about it today. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, I didn't.
No, it's okay. I was just super excited because it's finally out and I can say I did the cover.
And people are giving it compliments. So I mean, it's definitely very good. Basically, what I told her was, obviously, people are road tripping through Ohio, so maybe a car driving in the woods, but do it in like a Gravity Falls style, and you delivered very well. So
yay!
Thank you.
There's synergy there with.
We work well together.
Absolutely. Well, right. I can't draw a fucking stick person to save my life. So I need other people to do it for me. And I happen to have the best co-host that can do shit like that. So it's fantastic. It works out. I think you're the first actual artist. Well, in that sense that has ever co-hosted the show. So that's,
It works. It works for the podcast.
I don't know why we're not selling t-shirts yet.
Because you said no more t-shirts ever.
Not at booths, but online, maybe. We'll think about a merch shop. See, look at me. I'm already trying to do more projects. I need to cut it out. I need to take a break.
You do.
Yeah, you can sleep when you're dead.
That's what I always say. In my regular life, I'm trying to move. I'm trying to do a move right now. And moving sucks. And it's a lot. And I really, really, really just need to give myself the space to do that. And I can. Of course, we'll continue to do the show. But at least now until probably about July, I'm not really going to do much else, but I got a lot of really cool stuff coming up after that point. You guys are super going to enjoy some of the things that I've got planned, so that'll be neat. But as far as my personal life goes, so the book, it's picky to publish a book on by yourself. I publish it through Amazon. I self-publish. Keep it small, keep it all, right? And so that's the route that I choose. But when you do it that way, that means that you have to do all of the formatting bullshit by yourself. And let me tell you, that shit is bullshit. It's bullshit.
Oh, that's dreadful. It's dreadful.
The absolute worst. And you're like, okay, it's perfect now. And then you submit it. Then you have to wait 24 hours. And then Amazon's like, oh, no, by the way, this one word looks weird. And you're like, fuck. And you have to go back and do it over again. So I did that. So Sunday, officially, I was pleased enough. I'm probably still going to go back in and reformat some things, but I was pleased enough. I'm like, fuck it. I got to publish this. I got to sell it next weekend and put it out there. And so I was like, oh my God, I can finally I don't know, do something, right? I have a whole list of movies that I have to watch. And so I started doing that. And I think that's going to make for a good segue. And I watched a movie.
Okay.
And then called some friends after that. Cause I was like, shit, I haven't talked to another person in a while. And I watched Good Boy. Good Boy, the horror movie through the dog's perspective. And let me tell you, I had really high hopes for it because it was getting really good reviews and stuff. I didn't like it. Wasn't a fan.
That's too bad.
Into it. And it happens. And, because I haven't been able to sit and watch something for so long, it was so disappointing to watch something that I didn't like for the first time. you know? But it's not horrible. It's there for some people, and again, it's won some awards, and the dog in it has won a bunch of awards, and that's great. But it just wasn't for me. However, while I was looking for that movie, I found another title called Good Boy that came out in 2019, and I want to check that out. So that's probably my next movie. So The Good Boy that I watch, it's about a dog and his owner. His owner's going through some type of illness, and there's some supernatural stuff involved with it. And the dog, it's kind of told through the dog's perspective. The other Good Boy that I saw is about a woman who starts dating this man who has a pet dog, but the pet dog is a guy.
Oh. That took a turn I didn't think was going to happen, but okay.
And I think that's more my kind of movie. So I watched like the first 10 minutes of it, and I was like hooked right away. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you guys. I think I'm the problem. So we all have our taste, but yeah.
You just have to play that movie in like a room full of men and see which one's like, that's my kind of movie, and that's the one that you need to like gravitate to.
Not a lot of them. Yeah, not a lot of them are into it. I've tried with other movies of similar nature. It's tough out here, y'all. So I don't know if you like weird movies and you're local to me. Hey, hit me up. And if you're single, but I don't know, your wife could get it too. So let's all hang out.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Our chapters are going to look crazy this week.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Oh my gosh. So anyway, let's get on to, I don't have any traditional news this week, just because like I was telling you guys beforehand, the news has just been dreadful. So I'm sure there's some stuff out there, but I've been trying to stay away from it, frankly. But let's talk about some movie news, because there is some really interesting movie news, and I want a chance to talk about it at some point.
Sure.
And since we have, a filmmaker on today, it seems fitting, right? You watch movies, don't you?
I gave up on those a long time ago.
I believe you. Yeah, I believe that. When you work, when you do it as a job, it's difficult to keep up with.
Well, it is nostalgia. It's like, oh, there's a cool movie. Oh, I'm shooting this weekend. Oh, I'm editing this weekend. Yeah. So there are a ton of cool movies that I just, I'm lucky if I catch them 2 years later.
Sure. No, well, I get it. Yes, that way. All I do is work. I understand. But
movies real quick. Brandon just texted me. Brandon's my husband. Sorry. Brandon just texted me from downstairs and said that there's no Antique Roadshow tonight.
What?
There is
it's the end of the world.
Celtic Women 20th Anniversary Concert.
Well, is he watching that then instead? Or?
Oh, absolutely not. He's probably actually emailing PBS right now to tell them that they're horrible.
That's an outrage.
He does that every time Antiques Roadshow is not on Mondays. He emails PBS.
They know him too. They do.
Oh, yeah, they have to.
It's a travesty of a farce of a mockery.
It's this fucking guy again with his emails. Poor guy. Oh, I feel so bad for him. Well, getting on to it, Cassie, you were saying that there's a new scary movie coming out. Is that?
Yes, and it so new scary movie, original cast, the Wayans brothers, and then they're like doing a mockery of Sinners and Weapons and probably a bunch of other stuff I didn't catch because I'm behind on movies, but those two I did. And I can't wait.
Yeah.
And the strong arms in it.
Are you serious?
The strong hand.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Well, that'll be interesting. It's an interesting franchise. I showed my daughter the first Scary Movie, right? Because I was probably about her age when it came out, and I showed her the first one, and I was like, man, this is really cringy and gross. And some of the jokes just they age very badly. But I like that they are little time capsules to that era. We don't really have parody movies anymore. Like for a while, we got parodies of everything, right?
And now there's nothing.
Now they just don't exist.
Well, I think society, the media cycle moves so quick. If you're not making it's old news. If it takes you 6 months to make the movie, the jokes are already old.
Yeah, you're right about that. Our attention spans are just zip and it's over.
What, did you just say something? I wasn't paying attention.
Right. Doing 2 shows at once, huh?
I'm watching. I've got a movie, a short video, and a miniseries running.
Well, that's how the kids do it. So, I mean, you got to keep up with the time. No, it is really wild. So I think it is neat that they're continuing, that series, even though, like I said, I think that the jokes end up aging poorly, and obviously the references, right? It is a throwaway type of film. It's not.
They do have the Terrifier. Art the Clown is Santa Claus.
Oh,
nice.
He is giving the children who sit on his lap like limbs of somebody's body he cut up.
That's pretty much what he did, yeah, in the third.
Right.
So, very cool. Wow. That'll be a lot of fun. Well, speaking of things that did not really stand the test of time, there's another movie coming out that, man, I just really want to talk to you guys about. And that is the new Faces of Death. It's coming out in April. It's coming. I don't know. Have either of you watched Faces of Death, the original?
No.
I refuse to watch those movies. I like horror movies and they're fun. And I know that some of those Faces of Death, some of the things are totally concocted, but I like to sleep at night. And if it's a horror film, I know that's a horror film. But if it's like, oh, some guy getting his head crushed in a trash compactor, I don't need to see that. There's enough. I'm old enough to have enough pain and suffering in my life. I don't need to bring it into my entertainment land.
Sure. I think that's a very well, some people just have that story. A lot of people have that story. Well, yeah, I knew the guy who had an uncle who had all kinds of porn and then also Faces of Death, and so we watched it all. And it's just one of those things. It's definitely a product of its time.
Oh yeah.
Because that was not, gore. And even though, the first one is, almost entirely fabricated and filmed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which makes it, I guess, that much more impressive because it tricked a bunch of people into thinking it was real. Even though when you watch it now, it's super corny and it's like, there's no way this tricked people. Either way, gore wasn't something that you just had at your disposal back then. And so it was wild to see something like this on film. And I remember we had rented it thinking it was a horror movie from the video store, and it opens up with an autopsy, and you're like, what is this? What am I watching? And then you just can't stop. Once you start watching it, you're just like, does this go somewhere? It was, again, really kind of the first film of its type at that time. So now they're reintroducing it, and it ended up having I think there was 5 Faces of Death.
At least.
There's a bunch of them, and they're not re-releasing, but they're making a new one. And what's interesting about this new one is that it is kind of a meta movie. It's not trying to trick you into thinking that it is real. It's very much a movie happening where they're kind of, I don't know if they're making a snuff film or what exactly is happening, but there's characters and story, and so it's not quite an actual Faces of Death, but they're probably going to have real gore in it, because the thing about it is that you can just look that shit up whenever you want to.
Right.
Even when you don't want to, you see it. And, we have it on our news stations, right in front of us. Real people dying. And I don't know. I just don't think it's going to really stand up to, I don't think it's going to live up to the hype of what it should be. I'm going to watch it. But I don't think that a Faces of Death style movie can be successful in this time period because it's not something we're lacking. I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, no, yeah. The news cycle and then YouTube, or then you go other sources. Yes, you can see all that hideous stuff. And it slakes the need in certain people. And as I said, I just don't need that in my life. I mean, I've looked into my own body when I've been mauled by a dog. It's like, yeah, I don't like looking in that big gaping hole in my arm.
Oof.
So I tend not to. I mean, I'm not squeamish. I've recorded open heart surgeries as a graduate student in Ohio State. My first surgery was a hemorrhoidectomy. And
Oh,
talk about seeing
sorry about that.
the ass end of the world. It was not anything pleasant or fun. But hearing the doctor goes, "Oh, we got to get this gauze in here to get all the poopy out. We don't want any infections."
Oh,
And hearing a doctor say poopy was kind of funny.
he was trying to be professional.
Yes, indeed. Technical terms, man.
The poopy. That is hey, not many people can say that they've done that in their life. So
Yeah.
I can't say that I envy you per se, but I don't know, I kind of do secretly.
Well, no, it's fascinating and to see, they're in there just, look, there's a heart beating in there. It's all bloody and weird. And none of that bothered me. The only thing that bothered me was one time they used a laser to cut, and that smell was god awful. I mean, it was
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like it was almost primal. Burning flesh, the human flesh was kind of like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah,
But
I've had things burned off. Yeah, it's not great. It's
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. But no, I get it. I just wonder, are we desensitized now where, that's why stuff like this isn't really relevant anymore because we do and can have access to it. And like I said, there's people that, don't they come across it not on purpose, right? They're not actively looking for it, but they still find it anyway. Um, I don't know. Is that so good?
Well, I mean, I think as when I was young, show me the gory stuff. I mean, Dawn of the Dead, I've seen it 9 or 10 times in the theater, and there's intestines being pulled out of things and people's. I mean, the Walking Dead had people literally being ripped apart on screen, and it's weird. As I've gotten older, that stuff affects me more. I'm not desensitized. I'm more like, I guess as I've gotten older, I understand. I could really empathize with people. My empathy
Yeah.
gene has or muscle has grown, and I don't seek it out as much. And maybe I'm just a wussy old man. I don't know.
Interesting. Cassie, what do you think? Because you're a horror fan.
I think that it's going to, like, the first week, it'll do really good because it's gonna like bring in all the people from like the first movie who want to
Yeah.
see, to see what the
What it does.
like the special effects and everything, how it got better, and maybe it'll be a good movie. But after that, and like when the reviews come out, it's just gonna die off, and you're gonna be able to watch it on Netflix in like 3 weeks.
And they'll never make another one ever again.
Right.
Yeah, people make these they're called mixtapes now. And that's kind of the thing. Which all it is just some guy taking the worst clips that he can find on the internet and putting them together and calling it a movie. And that's been going on for since we've had internet pretty much.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't get worse than that. A lot of those mixtapes have, illegal materials on them. And, you can't I don't know. It's kind of a thrill thing. I'm a sucker. I really like extreme horror. That is my thing. I like stuff that's really disturbing, that's really moving. I don't know why, but I do. And but I don't I get chasing the thrill because when I was younger, I was like, oh, what's the most disturbing movie that's out there?
Oh
And
yeah,
I've seen them, and they're not good. I don't know. It just depends on which one you're talking about. But stuff like a Serbian film is usually people's go-to. It's a Serbian film or it's Salo or whatever. I've seen them, and neither of those movies are great. They're okay, I guess. But like, I'd rather watch something like Bad Boy Bubby, which is disturbing, but in a different kind of disturbing. But the story is better and more enjoyable. Stuff like this. I don't know. Of course, I want to see extreme cinema still having a place somewhere. I just don't think that doing it in the form of Faces of Death has much of a place. So we'll see. It'll just be a gauntlet, like Run the Gauntlet back in the old internet days, which was just gore. You would go to the website and check out the videos, and it's just gore after gore, and you try to get through the whole thing. And I think that that's what this is going to be.
Right.
I agree with Scott. Kind of like, I used to love horror movies and watch them, and I still love horror movies, but like, now I'm at the age where I'm like, Friday night, Five Nights at Freddy's is great horror movie.
That's fine too. I was super excited for Five Nights at Freddy's. And I do like gore. I like, Art the Clown is my new favorite because I like the special effects, but I can appreciate the special effects for what they are because I know what goes into that, and that's more of an art. But I don't know. Like I said, something like this, it'll be really interesting to see what they do with it. Of course, I'm going to watch it, but I agree. I think it's going to have a very quick boom just because people are curious, and then I think this is the final nail in that coffin.
Yeah. I think
Well,
last year and this year is going to be the final nail in a lot of franchises' coffins.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we just had, the new Scream come out. I haven't seen it yet. I will eventually, but whatever. So, anyway, that was my news. That's what I had.
oh, very good. Very good. Excellent.
So, moving on to other things that I particularly enjoy are documentaries. I really like nonfiction a lot. If you guys didn't know here, the listeners, but Scott, you made a very special documentary about our slimy friend, the Frogman.
Well, who doesn't love the Frogman? And I wasn't aware of the Frogman till about 2.5 or 3 years ago. And, I knew, of course, Bigfoot and Chupacabra and all those famous ones, Jersey Devil. And I learned, I go, wow, this is Ohio's, own, like, very specific cryptid. And then I began to research it and watch all the videos on the YouTubes, and eventually found out there was a festival. And I talked to one of my neighbors. She said, and randomly, she doesn't seem like that type of person. She goes, oh, I went, it was a blast. And so I got to check this out. And the more I dug into it, I said, somebody has to make a documentary about, a full length, dig in, full tilt documentary on the Frogman. And that's going to be me. So, and then I conned my brother. I have a twin, by the way. So if you're at the festival and you see me walking around with a beard, but I'm stupider looking, that's my brother.
Wait, so how do we know it's you on the show right now?
You don't.
Right, we can't see you. Yeah.
You can't see. And our voices, funny story, were so similar when we were in college. We moved off campus when I was in grad school, and he called home to tell me to take out the garbage. Well, he beat me home, listened to the message, and say, why is he calling to tell me to take out the garbage? I was calling him to tell him. And he goes, oh, shit, that's me. And
that's good. I like that.
And we never played, you never did the whole let's stand in or do, go to the class for me. I mean, there was only one time where there was a TV movie coming to town and I was busy and he went to a job interview for me just to be on the crew. And I got the job. And
oh, okay.
But what was it? The Jesse Owens story. And I only worked on it one day. And my job was to unload the wardrobe truck. And it was for Paramount. And I look into some of these costumes. And I go, I'll bet you these are the same Nazi uniforms they used as the Zeons on the old Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I, talked to the guy. I got all these great stories about, who wore this costume, who wore that. But there was Jan Michael Vincent, who was in the 70s, up and coming, blonde, handsome man. Unfortunately, he drugged and drank himself out of a career, but he was in this other movie called The Winds of War, epic miniseries, and it was set in World War II. Yeah. And they had to go to this aircraft carrier, and he had wearing dress whites, and they would put him on this little boat and take him out, and they'd go and do his scenes and come back, and they got the uniform back. And I shouldn't say this is terrible, but anyway, there were brown stains in the pants because he had been sniffing cocaine cut with baby laxative.
Oh.
So those are those true. And he was really talented. I did hear talking to some producer when I was in LA that I got him in a movie, but he was so drunk he couldn't stand up. So we tied him to a tree and shot a close up of him, and he could deliver his lines. He just couldn't stand up. So it was, excuse me. It was funny, but really kind of sad too.
Poor guy. Well, I mean, because I'm sure you do have a bunch of those stories. Before we get into the Frogman, right? What
Sure.
everybody's here for. How did you get this fascination with film and decide that you wanted to get into that?
Well, when I was 14 years old, my friend Larry Hale brought over a Super 8 movie camera, and we began making kind of Monty Python cutout animations, etc. And then we started making films with our friends, and that was it. We conned our English teacher, teach this media class. It was on the books for 20 years and nobody ever taught it. Boom, boom, boom. Then went to Ohio State, got a degree in film production, took a couple years off, freelanced, and went back, got a master's degree. Then while we're there, as graduate students, my friend and I, Jay Wolfel, made a horror film called Beyond Dream's Door, and was shot all around the Ohio State University, and was the first kind of college produced feature that we knew of. Maybe somebody else in probably Southern California did it, but it's out on Tubi, Beyond Dream's Door. It's a hoot. I mean, I'm proud of it. I mean, but it's got, massive holes in it because I was a student. I didn't know what I was doing half the time. And then the second year we made a movie called Fallen Angels. And it got, eventually it took 30 years to get finished because it just wasn't very good. But now it's a fantastic example of late 80s horror. And they got Linnea Quigley in it for about 3 or 4 scenes.
Wow.
Now it's called Heartland of Darkness. So, excuse me. It's still not great, but it's a great piece of history. Anyway, so I made movies, and then lately I've gotten into documentaries, and I've been producing these very serious histories of local neighborhoods, and my wife and I produced a documentary on the Underground Railroad about a rescue in in Oberlin, Ohio, and we won Emmy for that thing. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do another Underground Railroad. What else is fun? And I like to call these movies 14-year-old boy movies. I said, what about Bigfoot? What about Dogman? What about blah, blah, blah? And then we found Frogman. I said, we got to do Frogman. Nobody's done it. It'll be a hoot. And the more I met people, and when I finally met Jeff Craig, I go, I get it. This is just about fun. This is like Santa Claus in a frog suit. And that's the way I treat it. It's is there a Frogman? I'm going to say probably not, but it's fun to think about. And it's fun to explore. And if I don't want to go too deep into this, but the first sighting is the most interesting, because if that Honeycutt dude, the guy in the car, saw something, it probably wasn't a frog. If there was really something there, it was probably some kind of alien.
Sure.
So that's, and that's where I go with it. Where can we go from there? And then I also saw the Frogman movie and talked to Anthony Cousins, and he's big into Lovecraft and I'm big into Lovecraft. So it was like, a match made in heaven. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Frogman Returns.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was it was a big deal, when he came out with the first one, because like you said, nobody's really making media about Frogman. It's not new, but it's kind of found a newfound fame, right? With the festival, Jeff has really brought this thing to life, and I think it's beautiful.
He's done wonderful work. So,
Yeah,
and it just, he just has such a sense of fun, and he's just so generous with his time and helping people out. And, I don't know how he finds the time, but yeah, he's a mensch.
He's like the Jesus of the cryptid community. He's just
Oh yeah,
the nicest guy you've ever met. So generous. I really can't say it. Every person we've had on here, I'm just like, man, I just love Jeff Craig. I'm gonna start a cult, I think, surrounded by, and we worship Jeff Craig.
I agree.
Like, he commented on, like, I posted something about the Frogman Festival, and he commented under it, and he said, "Hey Cassie, thank you for supporting everything, and gonna miss you this year." And I'm like, why wouldn't I support you, Jeff Craig? I love you, and I love
Right.
Frogman.
We're Jim, right? We just love, even like when you guys read his foreword, it's, what he says so much nice about me, and I'm like, this is supposed to be your moment, and then you take it and you share it with somebody else because that's just the kind of person that he is.
Oh yeah, he's a hoot. I went. My brother and I went. We thought we explored Bigfoot. We went to
Yeah.
the Bigfoot convention. I won't name it, but they were just too tight butt. I mean, they were
Yes.
too like serious, and there wasn't the sense of fun. It was just like Bigfoot. If you don't believe it, we'll kill you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm not saying I don't believe it or not. I just I want to ask some questions. So anyway, we'll see. Bigfoot's been kind of done to death. So we're
Bigfoot conventions are probably the worst ones, I think.
Yeah, we're, but if they want to pay me to come talk, I love them. I'm just kidding. No, there's definitely two sides to this. Well, it's multifaceted, but to the paranormal, you've got this new kind of uprising on these topics where, you have people who can have fun with it, but also who can respect the stories. You can have both. You can have serious conversations about the potential for some of these things existing, that are honest, right, and not filled with fake stories and stuff. Or you, like you said, you have the very uptight community who just takes it a little too seriously for something that we haven't proven exists yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not saying there isn't a Bigfoot. I'm doubtful. And if anything, I would say there was a Bigfoot. I mean, maybe that original Patterson Gimlin film, that was a Bigfoot, but it may have been the last one. Because with all the cameras and things in the world, why aren't we finally getting that perfectly steady, well exposed shot? Because there's just so many cameras now. Not some funny. Ooh, I'm startled. Have 2 seconds of it. And then I fall into a lake or get swallowed by the Loch Ness monster or whatever it is.
Well, right. Obviously, Scott, you're not too deep into it because clearly it's because Bigfoot is a interdimensional being, and you can't catch it on a conventional camera because they have cloaking powers.
And you can't say that at a Bigfoot convention because they don't really believe in the woo.
Right.
You don't hear about it often.
The get out of jail free card for the Bigfoot.
Right, explaining a mystery with another mystery. That's a lot of it. No, you can't. It's perfectly fine. You're definitely open to skeptics on this type of show. I probably hurt people's feelings more than I make them excited. But there are genuine mysteries out there.
Oh no,
which is why I do what I do.
Yeah, there are the out of the blue. You'll meet some guy, just a farmer that you've known or whatever. He saw something weird. They cannot explain it. And they are quietly saying their story, and you do have to question. It's like they know what they're doing here, but they're saying it anyway, and they know it could hurt their reputation, and they're saying it with 110% sincerity. So in the back of your mind, I don't write it all off. I just, I want a healthy dose of skepticism too.
Yes.
And when you come to it, somebody tells me the story, I'm going to doubt you, but holy crap, what you're saying and who you are, my doubts crumble. And so it's just fun. It's just, I mean, in that sense, that's what it is. The world's much more exciting as opposed to accountants or politicians screwing you.
Sure.
It's, some monsters out there rattling your windows at night.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that healthy dose of skepticism is something that we lack a lot. And, as somebody who does research this stuff seriously, we need that. We need the challenge because, listen, if a skeptic comes up to me and they're questioning what I'm saying, well, then I'm not very good at my job then, am I?
Yeah.
Right? If I don't have a reasonable argument against what they're stating. So, I think it's just something that's not really, and of course the listeners know all this because they listen, but it's not appreciated enough. So I love that you're taking that as well, but getting into filmmaking, because I'll tell you, most of the time, these documentaries, I'm sure you've seen some of them, they're just ridiculous, and they don't do the topics justice. So, of course, I have not seen the Frogman documentary. It's not officially out yet, is it?
We're premiering Friday night at the Oasis before the Frogman Festival at 6 p.m. So, grab the kids and throw them in the car and head on down to the Oasis and check out the Frogman movie. $5 will buy you 71 minutes of delightful entertainment.
The trailer looks good.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
We have fun with it, and really the people we interviewed, James Willis was just so great.
Yeah.
because he brings an air of authority, also an air of skepticism, and we're covering all the frogman sightings that have ever been mentioned. There's a mystery one that I stumbled across, and I'm not going to give it away. You'll have to see the movie, but it was truly, I become part of the movie because it's like, how did this happen? I won't say any more, but it was truly like, wait a minute, I'm researching this, and suddenly this thing just disappeared in the middle of researching it. So anyway, so there you go. And Willis, he talked about some of the other sightings, and some of them he thought, this is truly interesting. And there's a couple of them he had to have that little, well, it was more the situation of sighting. We just happen to be down this lake, teenagers, this lake, watching the fog roll in. Yeah, like hell they are. They're drinking or making out or both. But they made it sound like they were pulling taffy and reading the Bible, and then something weird happened.
That's the part that, and we definitely got into it when we had James on last week. I let him just kind of, as he does as at the festival, he always gives the Frogman story, because I don't know, I guess the only person I think that knows it better than me is probably James Willis, and that's why actually it's there, because I love the particularly unusual cases. But what people don't know, people know the basic stories, right? They know the Honeycutt sighting, right, with the wand, and they know B, the Ray Shockey and Mark Matthews, I think that's his name. I always forget. The police officer sightings.
Yeah.
They don't know the other stories. They don't understand just how weird things were in that area, specifically in the 50s. They had all these different varied sightings that were being, investigated by a Cincinnati ufologist at the time. And which, like you mentioned, he doesn't describe them as frogmen, or nobody does, describe them that way. They definitely seem more alien, and then it just kind of got shipped together with this other, with the sightings in the 70s. So no, I think it is really neat, because that's what you get. You Google frogman, and all you get are those base sightings, and they're not even told well. They're told incorrectly. And like James was really honing in on the fact that, like, when people tell that Honeycutt story, they mentioned seeing the beings under a bridge, and they weren't, in fact, under a bridge. There was no bridge.
Right. Right.
And people kind of mix that into the lore. So I'm excited to see you go deep into it, because it doesn't get enough justice for just how truly strange it was. So I'm sure as you were filming, kind of going through this documentary, making it, that was probably when you came across some of those weirder sightings. How did you start when you went into it, versus how did you, did your opinion change at all coming out of it?
I guess, first I was highly skeptical. Then I was, wow, there are a lot more sightings than the initial big three, big four, whatever you want to call them. And then I started, there was a farmer sighting, and then we delve into the history of going back to the Native Americans. We found this YouTube channel called Cryptids Across the Atlas, and I saw their video, and I go, wow, they have this Indian spirit, whatever, the Shana hook. And I go into that. I tie in UFOs and excuse me, all the things related. So, I mean, we tried to do as much. I mean, yeah, there's a couple things I go, that's interesting, but I can't. Yeah, I don't. There's not enough there. I'm kind of, my wife is a photojournalist, so I'm always got a double sourcing. If it's just some Joe telling the story, I'm like, nah. Well, except for the one mystery one that I did. I tried to, like, there got to be more than one person telling that story, and it was fat. And then I just cover everything around it, and there's a huge section on the actual festival, and it's my love letter to the festival and Jeff Craig.
Oh, see, Jeff Craig, we love you, damn it. I'm just kidding.
Right.
I know he's going to listen to this, and he's going to be like, oh, and then he's going to do something nice for me. No, don't do anything nice for me. Just own it. It's yours.
Well, Jeff, if you don't say nice about it, you don't want to know what's going to happen to you. Next Frogman Festival, I'm going to show up as Godzilla and wreck the place.
That would actually be really epic. I would love. I might actually pay to attend, even though I'll already be there. I'll still give my money to attend that.
Mhm.
I'll pay for the cleanup if you do.
There you go.
I'm a huge kaiju fan, so yeah, that would be perfect. Um, yeah, so I do, like I said, I love that you're doing your research, right? Doing your homework. You're not just making an interesting story, because it is easy to just go, I'm just going to tell the sexy parts, and the sexy parts usually aren't genuine, or have no credibility. To say anything is genuine is tough because we just don't know. We weren't there. We didn't experience it, right?
Right.
But people just love to just make shit up a lot. So I appreciate the fact that you've done your due diligence there. But I was kind of checking out your YouTube channel a little bit. Like I said, I don't, we're not a guest heavy show. Usually if I have anybody on, it's somebody I'm already very familiar with. You're my first new guest in a really long time. Um, but you definitely are into, at least you seem to be into these stories. I mean, when did you kind of get into cryptids?
Well, I mean, as a little kid, growing up, you grew up with, I'm older, Universal horror films, and then
Sure.
Kolchak the Night Stalker. Probably it's like Monster of the Week, but I started, well, it's just a monster made it. No, there's the Rakshasas, really a from the Southeastern Asian
Yeah.
lore and all these different things. So that just delved more into that. And you watch Ghostbusters, it's all fun, but then you learn about different dimensions, ectoplasm, and all those things. And it was just fun. And guys, I have to admit, I'm not as much into horror films as I used to be. And part of it, I think I just made so many of them
Yeah.
that some of the luster, I know all the beats, I know all the tricks, the cat scare, how they do the fake blood or the fake. When I went to see the movie I was, oh, look, there's the scary clown with 1,000 teeth. I'm like, yeah, that's a neat effect. What got me was more the story about these children. And the real horror of the story is these kids are being all abused in certain ways by society and
Sure.
entirely ignored. The one girl's being literally sexually molested by her stepfather. The one kid's brother dies and the parents won't let him mourn. The other, just blah, blah, blah. All these things are being, and that, the human stories, get me more than the horror scares, because I know how most of those work. Although some of the more modern horror, Hereditary, Midsummer things, those get me. They draw me in, and I can still enjoy a classic. I saw The Conjuring 2 with my wife, who's the perfect horror film, attendee, because she's like grabbing my arm, don't go in there. Oh my God, no, get out, get out. I'm like, it's The Conjuring 2. It's not anything that serious. But I enjoyed the human story. There was whatever, they were having their problems, and there was a human story there that kept me involved. So even if I was kind of like, they're making up 70% of this ghost story, but I was still intrigued by the story. So I wasn't like I was bored. I just find different ways to take the movie in. And if there isn't that story, then I do get bored. If it's just, Friday the 13th part 8 million, I was like, yeah, I saw all those, from Halloween. I mean, I probably watched 6 years of slasher movies, and the one that broke me was called Final Exam, where there was a horror film on a college campus, and there was kids being killed by the crazy guy, and he appears and tries to stab our hero or heroine, and she just runs at random through camp, through buildings, across blah blah blah, and she runs in her door, and he steps out and stabs her. And it's like, sorry, this is just some guy how did he know she was going to this specific space? And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I can't see any more slasher movies. The formula is played out. But
Sure.
I enjoyed, all the early ones, and Kevin Bacon being murdered as an unknown actor was well worth it.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying about connecting with the humans, the people and the stories, and I think that's why I like extreme horror, because you get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where you do get some very obviously jarring imagery and stuff like that, but they're mostly very pretentious for regular audiences, right? There's actually something there to pick apart and work with, that relates to real life as opposed to, stuff, the supernatural or whatever. But I don't know, but I like a good piece of shit cheese, right? Because but when I get together with other people and check it out and riff on it, I suppose I enjoy that part. So, but I understand. You've got horror burnout, and that's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, I'll still watch them. But probably it's my wife is, I mean, if it gets into she's I'm not watching that. So I have to watch them in secret, by myself, rocking back and forth in a room in the dark.
That's dirty. Yeah.
Yes, it is. But no, they get in her head. And she didn't sleep well for nights. So I don't want to subject her to that. So we're watching, Matlock or something. No, we're not watching Matlock, but we do watch tamer things. And with all the political things, I have been watching more tamer things, and I gotta buck it up, man.
Well, that's why I watched Good Boy, because I thought it was going to be wholesome, and it was not. It hurt my feelings.
Okay.
I was like, this is going to be good. Well, because when I think of like when I first saw the premise of it, I was like, oh, it's going to be like Bad Moon. Have you seen that one? Bad Moon. It's a werewolf movie. So this guy gets bitten by a werewolf, and he freaks out and goes to stay with his sister, I guess, while keeping the secret that he's also a werewolf. And the family dog knows that he's a werewolf and is trying to like warn the family about him, and it's good. It's done really well. It's not necessarily told from the perspective of the dog, but you see things that the dog sees that like obviously the mom and her son don't see, and it's a very good wholesome type of horror movie, and I thought that it would be that, and it was not. It was just depressing, and I hated that.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
So it burnt me. I was like, oh, forget movies. So getting back into it, now you're kind of making the switch into documentary filmmaking, which is how I got my start in this community. So I get it, even though I have never released a documentary yet. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially with these types of stories, because, with like the Frogman, you were kind of mentioning that, these stories kind of give way to each other. And once you start down that rabbit hole, it's really difficult to find a place to land on. How do you feel like you're navigating that process with something like the Frogman?
My wife's a journalist, so I lean on her, but she hasn't seen the movie, but I say, well, no, you got a second source that, you got a third source that. So it's finding the there's a couple good stories out there, but again, they're just coming out of the blue. So it's just tracking them down, finding different versions of them, and then coalescing them, all right, yeah, that element, wait a minute, that element's from the other sighting, so that shouldn't even be in here. So they, the game of telephone, the story slowly transforms into something else. Yeah. So it's just doing the research. I mean, and as I said, I've been doing these Underground Railroad documentaries, which are serious stuff. So these are just really nice refreshers. Mm-hmm. But I still I want to bring credibility to them, sure, and ground them. So it's just not all fan service. It's, hey, I'm telling this story. And again, I'll go back to James Willis. He's just so great. He's able to, hey, I like this part, but this part is just ridiculous. And let me tell you why. And so he was just a great, and then some other people came in. So it's just taking a break. I mean, I'm producing another Underground Railroad documentary down in southwestern Ohio on the town of Ripley. Yeah. And I'm going to pimp it a little bit. There were two major conductors in the town of Ripley, and Ripley was a tiny little blip, but per capita, I know we're kind of a horror thing, it was one of the busiest cities on the Underground Railroad. There were two guys, John Rankin, who was a minister, wrote this book called Letters on Slavery, which became, for the abolitionists, the big book. But there's other guy, John P. Parker, and he's the reason I'm making this movie. Black dude, born into slavery, tried to escape numerous times, almost died, finally bought his way out, ended up in Ohio, and ended up rescuing hundreds of people. And I always ask this question. Now, everybody knows Harriet Tubman, right? Anybody, you two, how many people did Harriet Tubman lead to freedom?
I don't know.
No idea.
300, which is a lot. She's a black woman. I mean, going into the South. Parker did 600 to 1,000.
Yeah.
and the Rankin family did a couple thousand. Now Rankin stayed on this side. He didn't go into. But anyway, so I just have to pimp that story. John P. Parker is an amazing character, and I did want to do it on Underground Railroad. I was like, I've done that, been there. I had to tell his story. So back to horror and Frogman. It's telling that story, and my brother and I we're developing some other ones. Next one's going to be, I think, on Kecksburg, the UFO site incident over there. And what's fascinating about that is there's 3 angles to it. Well, there could be a 4th, but I think the 4th is a BS. But was it a UFO? Was it a super secret U.S. satellite, or was it a Russian satellite? And you can explore all those different angles. And so we said, we're doing that one. And we've got actually an interview coming up probably in 2 weeks with the former president of MUFON, Ohio, the Mutual UFO Network. And
is it Fred West?
No, this is
Ohio.
Thomas Workman.
Yeah,
and
Pennsylvania.
Seems like a fun guy. And we went to the Kecksburg UFO Festival, and it was a hoot. It was a hoot. I mean, it's a dot of a town. I mean, I don't think there's even a stoplight, but it was a lot of fun, and ate really terrible food, meaning not terrible, but terrible for you food.
Yeah.
and met this Stan. Met Stan Gordon, who's kind of the former, the head cheerleader for Kecksburg and UFOs in general. And he was just a really nice guy. Just, I'll tell you the story. I'll tell anybody the story, pivoting back to that Bigfoot thing, we wanted to interview one of the Bigfoot people. He goes, yeah, give me $2,000. You can have an interview. I was like, yep, moving on, dude. You think I got $2,000? I mean, this Frogman documentary, that's probably double our entire budget.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is. No, you you don't need to invest in those people to make a great documentary about something like these topics. I mean, that's because again, most of it do it because we are, we have day jobs, right? We have, like you said, our insurance money, right? My pension. And we do it because we care about these topics and we want to get those stories out there,
Oh yeah. No, I mean, it's going back to my roots of, kid who loved horror films and exploring it in an adult way, not in a goofy, it's just a scary monster. It's, what is it? Where does it come from? What's the basis? And what's not factual too. Throw a little bit of that in there but don't say it's true.
People are going to definitely want to check out your Underground Railroad coming up because John Rankin, I talk about him in my book, Your Strange Guide to Ohio, because the John Rankin house you can still visit, and allegedly it is haunted. So just plugging on my own show shamelessly.
Excellent. I've toured it 2 or 3 times. We shot a bunch of interviews in it, and nothing tapped me on the shoulder, but I was too busy working. Probably he's too serious. He'll
That's the one in Ripley.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I was going to say, I'm from, I grew up in Grafton, so, I play basketball in Oberlin, and I know all of that stuff, so the first one caught my attention.
Oh, yeah, that's the Oberlin Wellington Rescue of 1858, and it's a fascinating story, and
it is.
We just lucked out into getting a couple really good people to interview, and it was an important story, so I had to tell it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's it is very fascinating, especially for our history people. It is super neat. And like I said, there's obviously spooky stuff all around concerning that time period. So you can have both, you guys.
Oh, yeah. I made a ton of horror films in L.A. Some of them were, super low budget, shoot a horror film, entire feature-length film in 6 days for a budget of $7,000 or $8,000, and they were fun. I mean, they weren't good, but they were fun, and I learned what I like to call ruthless efficiency. All right, we're gonna light the scene, blah blah blah. Stand there. All right, talk. All right, boom, and it's like, oh, that shot wasn't good. Okay, we'll make it better in the next scene. You just keep moving on, and I tried to get out of those. And later, a friend of mine pulled me back in, but they were just goofy fun, and the joy was, if they weren't good, and none of them were, well, except for one, none of them were terrible, but a couple of them were mediocre. You were done in 6 days, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm devoting my month of my life to this thing. I did work on a film called Guns of El Chupacabra about guys being chased around by invisible monsters with the famous director, well, not famous horror fan, Don Jackson, who is claimed to fame. He directed a movie called Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah.
And it was the first movie with Rowdy Roddy Piper in it, which I've later told that Don was fired off of. But on the Guns of El Chupacabra, I mean, I arrive at his studio and he's casting the movie at 6 a.m. Don, where's the script? He goes, no script. You don't need script. It comes from the heart, you know. Oh, I should have just said, Don, I've got the plague. I can't show up. And then we went out and shot. And then on the second day, he goes, I think this will be a kid's movie. I was like, oh shit. And then excuse me, on day 3, at the end of the day, he goes, we're going to do the gun stuff. And I go, where's your blanks? Where's your armor? Or the guy in charge of the fake guns. He goes, blanks are too expensive. And I was like, oh, I got to get off this movie. And that was my last day.
Man, but it's like, you know, it's like what makes Trauma so great, right? It's all in the heart. Like, they're not great movies, but like, man, they got a lot of heart, don't they? Well, some of them are really good, and people should definitely check them out. But you know, they've built their brand on that, and that's, you know, Lloyd Kaufman's just a fucking genius. I'd love to have an excuse to get him on the show, and he would do it. He would do it.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, it's just, I don't know, something about being humble. It's really important when you make stuff.
Well, he likes to connect with the audience, and there's always something. It's not just, there's always something going on underneath him. I mean, you know, the whole, you know, Toxic Avenger it's about it's a subtle, not subtle, but environmental. Hey, care for the environment type thing,
right?
Over the top, you know. But yeah, so there's something fun going on, like in the rich, you know, Dawn of the Dead. I mean, it was about consumerism and how we're stuck in the malls. You got to have that second layer to make it interesting. Make it you could watch it more than once.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Catch something new every single time, for sure.
Yeah.
Gosh, I had a question. I don't remember.
Every day.
Cassie, you got something?
Well, okay. So, for the Frogman one that you're debuting on Friday this weekend, is there like do you have like clips that you like animated or anything in it, or is it just like straight like talking to people, documentary, telling the story, or do you kind of like make like a kind of a movie like in the background thing going on?
We a friend of mine who made low budget horror films, still does in LA. He had this full like lizard man costume. He spent many thousands of dollars to make, and he goes, oh yeah, I'll let you use that. You give me like, you know, $300-400 and I'll ship it out to you, blah blah blah. And we were getting ready to shoot, and at the last minute, he got terrified that his costume would be lost by FedEx, and he pulled out. Oh. So we had to piece together a Frogman costume from off of Amazon. We found this kind of cool looking lizard head man and these gloves, and then my brother bought like on Temu a ghillie suit. So I make sure not to put a light on it, but it worked. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it worked infinitely better than I ever thought it would be. So we do have little interactions. I mean, I'm not the greatest compositor, so some of the you know, dropping the Frogman into a scene on the road, it's okay. I mean, if we had a bigger budget, I have a friend who's really good at it, but that would have doubled our budget. So that's where we are. But so it's talking heads. We do reenactments. I sadly admit there's some of the stuff, the AI, there's like the giant, what is the Cross Mills Lake snake monster? I was like, I can't create that. I don't have the budget. I mean, I could do a cheesy ass sock puppet. So there's a little AI in, and I'm vowing to slowly but surely stop, you know, using it less and less and less, unless there's just no other way. I mean, it's like if I need in like Kecksburg and I need a UFO to crash into the side of a mountain, explode on fire, it's nothing I can do on our tiny budget. But the rest of it, I'm going to try to do as much as real as possible, because AI terrifies me. It's part of the reason I went into documentaries is documentary. At least the people have to be real.
Yeah,
right.
The interview subjects where, you know, that I saw that you know, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt thing, them duking it out. It's like, yeah, it's going to fool a lot of people. So, and I have lots of friends in LA who I mean, industry. I don't go deep into this. The industry is in a lot of trouble because of the pandemic and the strikes and all that good stuff. So I have a lot of friends who just aren't working. And then toss in AI. My set decorator guys, they're just like, oh shit, all I have to do is build like 6 foot of a wall, and then the AI will just build the rest of the spaceship around him. It's like, oh well, back when Alien, where they built, took up all of Pinewood State Studios to build the whole Alien set. Now it's just, oh, we just build like half a room, and the rest of it's all fake.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
So that's part of the reason I went, hey, documentary is, and I've gotten older and just more interested in facts, and so I mean, I still am jonesing to do another narrative feature. I just have to find the right one,
Okay.
with a little bit of horror, a little bit of psychological stuff in it. So we'll see.
Have you, okay, so you said ghillie suit, and have you watched any of the Gable film movies?
No, I have not.
So we did an episode on this a couple months ago, the Gable film, which is a guy that made these like Super 8 kind of videos, and it's about a dog man in the woods and how he like killed somebody. And it was very, very controversial still to this day. And the guys even came and said, hey, that's just me in a ghillie suit. Like, I made this whole thing up and shot my own like little video. And people like argue with him about how he's lying.
Yeah, he has.
So they're
he made,
very like believable.
He made the first part, and it's just like a home video Super 8 type of situation, and then you kind of go through this, couple minutes of video. You get to the end where the cameraman is being stared down and then rushed by this creature, and the whole cryptid community was like, "That's a dog man. That's real." Then he came out with a part 2, and part 2 is told from the police perspective, finding the body of said cameraman from earlier. Then he made part 3, which I think was a prequel. And we didn't even, we do a series called Solved, where we talk about, different mysteries that have unequivocally been solved. And we did the Gable film. We didn't know about part 3 until we put out the Gable film episode, and he actually contacts us and is like, hey, I made part 3 too, and nobody ever talks about it. And we watched it, and it's so ridiculous, but so good. That's one
It
of
has
all.
Godzilla in it.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah. So it is very good. But anyway, yeah, he used the ghillie suit, and he went on the show Monster Quest, and they debunked it, talking to him. He showed everything that was in the video, and put on a different ghillie suit that they gave him, and obviously it was him. I mean, it was him that did it, and people still to this day are like, no, it's not. It's really Dog Man.
Well, the fun thing about our reenactments is I played Matthews and the other cop.
Shocky, yeah.
Yeah, Shocky. I mean, I try to like putting not a light on me, but again, our tiny budget, I was like, well, I'm not going to drag a friend in here and give him no money, so
Sure.
I'll just play the cop, and so yeah. Do I play anything else? No, I just play the 2 cops. I showed the trailer to my students in my film class. They laughed. They go, "That's you!" Shut up! You hurt my feelings.
So who was in the ghillie suit?
My brother. So
Oh,
he's the Frogman. And I just go run into that tree. Walk through that creek. Also, we got some footage of him in a Bigfoot costume. So we talk about other cryptids. So, and the funny thing is, I bought my Bigfoot suit, forgot I bought it, and like 2 years later, I go, oh, I need a Bigfoot. Bought it. It's like looking around. Where am I going to put this on the shelf? I go, oh, well, shit. There's another one right up there. So I have 2 Bigfoot costumes.
Yeah, let's talk about. You have the Crosswick monster is in this movie.
Oh yeah, Crosswick and the Mills,
Charles Mill,
Charles Mills Lake, and then I mean we do. There's a whole. I mean, I talk about frog men around the world. There's a bunch of different sightings down in Argentina and Russia and stuff like that. And I figure most people, have not dug any deeper than the 4 or 5 biggies.
Yeah.
So I just, I do them short, little like 90-second. Hey, there was this and this and this and this. And hold on a second. Pardon me, little coughing fit. Yeah, I mean, I try to just give a little like smattering of all of them. So maybe somebody will see that and go, hey, well, maybe let's explore that one some more. And who knows, maybe if we ever do a sequel, we'll dig more into frogmen around the world.
Mhm.
And we did try stop motion animation, and which is where I started with that little Super 8 camera, and it was very pathetic. So we couldn't do stop motion animation, but maybe in the next one.
One of my presentations at Frogman was other frog creatures from around the world, and I think people are always shocked to hear that. They're like, "What? There's more of them?" And it's like, "Yeah, of course." You
Oh,
know,
And we looked
allegedly.
up the one day, like going to Charles Mill Lake to check that out. But
I
didn't
went
they
there.
like want some crazy amount of money just to step foot
Yeah.
on the freaking beach?
So we went to I did Monster Fest. You were there at Monster Fest. It was my
Yeah.
birthday weekend, and so on the way home, we stopped at Charles Mill Lake, and just to kind of check it out. And I'll tell you, I'm at Monster Fest, right? Hosted by Small Town Monsters. They're like the big top dog
oh yeah.
in this community, and all the people that I rubbed elbows with, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to Charles Mills Lake after this, and they're like, what? What's that?
Huh.
And I'm like, you don't know?
Even I know of Charles Mills Lake. Like,
I'm like, you don't know about the monster there? The little he's like the creature from the creature from Black Lagoon. Like, you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know about him? And no, they had no idea. So that's exciting to hear that and especially the Crosswick monster. Like, people are like, what's your favorite? I'm like, man, one of my favorites is this Crosswick monster, and they're like, the what?
Oh well, it's
nobody
it's just such
ever
a
talks about that one, but it's
No.
amazing.
Yeah.
well, it morphed. I mean, it's like, at one point it's a lizard dragon, and suddenly it's 13 feet tall, and then it
Yeah.
disappears in a tree, and a classic
Giant
game of
salamander.
telephone.
Like,
Yeah. So, but I mean, somebody said, hey, well, maybe there was a giant salamander that bit a kid
Sure.
and tried to drag him away, and then they took off with it. From the rest of it's just totally made up. But a lot of these things, there's some basis in them.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately people get involved and ruin them or make them more fun. Let's say that way.
Absolutely. Or just forget about them entirely. And that makes me sad because these are fantastic stories, people. What are you doing with your life?
Well,
Right? Obviously not listening to the show enough. God damn it.
Well, that's why we're all here to tell the stories and perpetuate the mythos, the legends, and some blatant falsehoods. Just get the hamster man from Chillicothe. That's my next one.
Oh my
ooh.
gosh. Is that real?
No, it's not. I'm totally making it up.
Okay.
That's why it's blatant falsehood.
That's a new one for me. Wow.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But why not? Why not? You could. You
Oh,
could
yeah.
make it a thing.
It could be now.
Yeah.
It's a creepypasta at this moment. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hamster man. I heard that he has teeth. They used to call him Beaver Man, but then they realized that he was too cute, and obviously he's got to be a hamster, right? Because hamsters are cuter than beavers. But his teeth come all the way down to his chest.
Oh yeah, they're terrifying. And then that little eyeball thing, that twitch. Oh man, it's terrifying.
And he just shoves things in his mouth, and it just keeps going and going. And I don't know where it keeps it all, but he just continues.
Right. The one time I poked him and a whole arm came out. It was terrifying.
We're creating legends here. No,
creating an egregore.
You're right. God, you're right, because that's how Michigan Dogman started. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Now we're going to start getting people writing in like, I've seen it. You think it's funny, but I saw it one
Well,
time.
that's fine if they've seen it. Cool. Call. Tell us the story.
Please. Yeah, we do have. Yeah, we have a number. You can call 773-59-WEIRD. Give us a call. Let us know
All
about your
righty.
hamster man experience. And then maybe Scott will come and interview you for his upcoming documentary about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, probably our next one is going to be Dog Man. Defiance, and maybe we'll go clear up to the Bray Road. I'm not sure. And then
Sure.
and we again, that's our fun arm, and our serious arm is some true crime that we're going to do.
Ooh,
We're
We
working
love
on
that.
yeah, we do.
well, when I was a college student here, going back to the old days, I did one on the Logan murders. Dale Johnston was accused of shooting his stepdaughter and her boyfriend, and then chopping them up and throwing them in a field and throwing their torsos into the river, and then some other guy came up. So I was in a documentary class, and I had some lame idea. No, it wasn't a bad idea, about a little old lady that ran a junk store in my hometown of Portsmouth, and then I was watching the news about this, and Dale Johnston convicted of murder, but here's an uncalled witness for the defense. Yes, I'm a forensic historian. Satan has killed those kids. I was like, oh, I got to follow up on that. I pitched in class, and there were people like, oh my God, that's insane. You can't do that. You'll be killed. I was like, oh, you just dared me. You double dog dared me. And so I ended up, like any college student, made a 42-minute true crime documentary on the case. And I've watched it, and other people watch it, go, for just a college project, this is pretty darn good. I mean, you've got the basis. So, and there's a whole second half of the story. So we're actually going to Atlanta over spring break to interview an author who wrote the thing about the second half of the story, which I'm not going to give away, except there's another. It wasn't the murderer. Johnston was not the murderer. And but it was truly gory. I mean, I went down there, and we went in the cornfield where the kids were killed, and it was a year and a half later. The holes were still there where the limbs were buried, and I was like, "Ooh, this is kind of creepy." And it made me start taking that stuff seriously instead of just being, "Ooh, it's true crime, it's cool." No, it's like I got to meet the parents of the one boy who was killed,
Yeah.
and the only thing is, they to this day they still think Johnson had something to do with it. He did not. I don't see any way he could have. But so we're doing true crime, and there was and here in Columbus there was that dentist and his wife were murdered. I'm always trying to find a different angle, so I don't know if we'll do that one. I have to decide. But anyway, true crime's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we cover it here on the show just because I like it. I wanted to. One of my ventures in college was to get into criminology, and I didn't get through that program either. But I'm interested in it, and it's nice to do on a show like this. It sounds weird, but it's kind of a breath of fresh air for us, because true crime a lot of times is just here's the facts, and that's what it is. Whereas like when we're covering, like, I don't know, a contactee story, it definitely involves a lot more research and time really picking apart that fact from fiction thing again, right? Whereas
Right.
like you can prove who killed who, or maybe not, right? But here's the facts of the story. So it is, they're fascinating, and there's some really weird ones out there too. Just genuinely very odd. And of course, that's what we do on the show is we talk weird. So
Yeah, there you go. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to do one on the torso murders up in
Oh yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland, so
Yep.
with Elliot Ness.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I'm always saying, well, it's been done. Can I bring something new to it? And with this, the one in Logan, I bring the whole second half of the story, which people know, but they don't dig into it. And literally how the Dale Johnston was pretty much railroaded by the town. I mean, it was like, we got to have, he's the murderer. There's no other murderer. I mean, I was down there last summer, and I getting a sandwich and shooting some footage of Logan, and a woman goes, I go, hey, well, I'm just working, like, oh, that's interesting, but I still think Dale Johnston had something to do with it. It's like, this guy in prison admitted to it. So sorry.
Yeah.
I don't,
Right. Right. I mean, what can you do further? Yeah, I'd like to see one done on. I'll tell you, William Sapp, the serial killer in Springfield, Ohio. I think that would be neat. There's so much out there that people just have no clue even exists.
oh yeah. I'm going to write that down. So, well,
William Sapp, yeah. Let me know. I'm from Spring. I was born in Springfield. I don't live there now. I never would again. But no, it's super interesting. Him and they kind of got more infamy because him and a group of fellows killed two 12-year-old girls, and that was kind of what led to his capture. But he'd killed other women on his own. Anyway, interesting stuff.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
ever, like, come out with anything about the one we did down by you in Kettering?
No. So we just a couple months ago, or just last month, we covered the Erica Baker case, missing Erica Baker in Kettering, and she's been missing. But we know pretty much exactly what happened. But even though we know what happened to her, who did it, he's never served any time for murder. But they've never found her body, and but there was a skeletal remains found in Enon, Ohio, that could possibly be her. They still have not released the identity of those remains, so we'll see.
Interesting. Well, I mean, they're all over there, and the ones, the mystery ones are always the best. I mean, some of the unsolved ones. We watched one, Dolly Madison murder, somewhere in middle of America, Oklahoma, whatever, some
Sure.
women at a little Dolly Madison, bakery thing selling stuff, and somebody came in just slaughtered them, and they still don't know. It was like an 18-year-old and a 70-something-year-old woman, and it's just like some drifter. Was it? Who was it? What was it? It was a fascinating. I'm still fascinated by that story.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're right. There's so many, and if you can do your part and kind of get that story out there for people, maybe who knows? You never know who knows what. That is the interesting bit about crime is that there's just still so much to tell. So
Yeah.
no, very very cool, very cool. So you're definitely gonna do well. You said you're probably gonna do Dogman. Defiance obviously is a great spot for that. We locally we have the Beast of Butter Street. Dogman in Germantown, Ohio.
Okay.
So I mean, there's certainly stories out there.
Oh, yeah.
Goshen, Ohio has a lot of Dogman stories. I mean, you're not going to have any shortage of content, especially because Dogman kind of became the new Bigfoot.
Yeah.
People have really gone crazy over that guy. So that'll be good. Well, I mean, you know what? I don't want to start cutting you short here, but kind of wrapping up a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like you've got quite a few projects planned for the future.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The more serious one is the first Gallipolis, Ohio, the first integrated school in Ohio. And all right, well, what do you think that happened? That was like my question for Parker, Harriet Beecher Stowe. When would you first integrated school in Ohio? Well, it was 1918. You'd think, 1930s, 1950s, whatever. No, 1918. And so I just shot an interview with a guy that went to the school. He's like 89. He's still pretty sharp. So those are the serious ones. And I just, jump back and forth. I just want to make movies. I'm getting to that age where it's like, I made my, on the side. I teach at Ohio State, which is fun. Like I say, the love of my life is filmmaking. That's number 10. Teaching is an 8.5 or a 9. And then I do corporate videos like, how does this metal press works? Crank it. Oh, this one fills 8 bottles of water. This one fills 2 bottles of water. Whatever it is, it's the widget movies. And it's like, I don't want to make those anymore. I've made enough of those kind of things. I want to tell stories.
Very cool. What's the? I should have asked this in the beginning. What's the best film that one of your students have made, in your opinion? I'm asking you to pick a favorite, and I know that's difficult, but I'm curious.
Let me think. Well, last semester I had a really talented filmmaker. In fact, they were bored in my class and made fun of me and their projects and thought it's because I have to teach to the middle. But they made a fun thing about how I named all the characters in my movies. I make little in the class. We make a movie in 85 minutes. We shoot a little, literally 90-second, open the box and somebody disappears because they shouldn't have opened the box type movie.
Sure.
But we make them but all the characters, I named them Terry because it's a unisex name because I don't know if a guy or a gal or somebody with both in it. I don't know. And he made a whole movie about who is it. And then wait a minute, this was Terry with a Y, but this one movie was Terry with an I. What does I mean? And it was just really creative and fun. And he's a talented filmmaker. My only complaint with him is he's got to branch out. He's got to start. He makes the movies. And it's all so minimal, and it's usually him in them. I go, dude, start making stories, getting a cast, getting a crew.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I've had a couple other. Probably I taught screenwriting for a while. One of the students, she went off and created a sitcom for independent film channel called Young Hillary. Now I think it only ran one season, but it was kind of fun. And so, but I don't think she had much success after that, sadly. But it's I've got a couple kids. They're premiering some movie at, I don't know. I don't think it's at Sundance. Maybe it's Slam Dance. But anyway, so we'll see. I'm just, I want them to get out there and make movies. These beginning classes, probably 90% of the kids will never make another movie. But I teach to the middle, but I really focus on those people who are really excited about it.
Do you follow some of them after they've taken? You're just like, wow, this is the next David Lynch, and then you kind of follow them after that, or? Sounds like you do a little bit.
I have 2 or 3 that are, I've been teaching the video production for now 4 years, and I've taught there's 2 or 3 I keep up with. I mean, a couple is funny. I taught a special documentary class to do. They were tearing down the old theater building, so I did a documentary on that. And I had a set of twins, but they've gone off and formed their own little company called Double Take Productions. Anyway, but they've gone totally corporate. They just want to make money with video. So I appreciate it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's like, oh, guys, go off and tell your stories. And maybe in 10 or 15 years, they go, I'm tired of making widget videos. Let's make a documentary on the bog man of Salon, Ohio.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're on the money there. It's a lot of people quit. A lot of people quit because it's not that rewarding of work. Not that it's not rewarding. It's just, it takes a lot of work to get that tiny bit of payoff. And most of the things you make, they're not going to be a big deal, but none of them are ever going to be a big deal if you stop making them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, you just got to keep telling the stories. And there's a guy on the YouTubes, Jason Horton, who was a low budget filmmaker. And I just follow, and he just did videos on how to market, how to do this, how to do that. There wasn't much about the actual, tell a cool story. It was like, make these movies. And he took a year off and he made 12 documentaries, one a month, 3 or 4 Bigfoots, 3 or 4 UFOs, and then just grab bag of like healthy eating, black male strippers, a female boxer, and after, he got them out and they released them. And then a year later, he goes, I'm making a living off those. I mean, I'm going to get rich, but I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry where my rent's coming from or where my food's coming from. And he's my hero. So Jason, if you ever hear this, you're my hero, buddy.
Doing it right.
But it's just, I'm getting older and I want to do what I want to do. And I live and die to make movies. And my joke is, I'll be behind a camera. Someone will go, Scott, you got that framed up? And I won't move. And they'll tap me on the shoulder. I'll just slump on the floor. And that'll be the end of Scott. But he died doing what he loved to do.
I love that. I love that you still have the passion for it. I mean, like I said, it's hard to keep that fire going, and you have to be your own motivator a lot to keep it going. So that's beautiful. I think that's amazing. Cassie, do you, before I really wrap it down?
No, I mean, this was an awesome interview. Like, I like you. You're a really cool guy. I always joke, I have no other marketable skills. So, zombie apocalypse hits, I'm the first guy eating, but as long as, we're semi-stable, I can make movies and people hopefully will watch them. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Luck to both of you at Frogman this weekend.
Oh, it's going to be a hoot. It's going to be a hoot. So
it'll be a great time. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I think I'm going to stick around and see the Return of the Frogman on Sunday. I can't. We're at the festival, so I can't see it during the day. But I think they're screening at some local brewery or something. I'm going to really try to check that out.
Are you selling? Your documentary?
Hell yes. We're hopefully we haven't made the copies yet, but tomorrow I'm going to a duplicator and we'll be selling for a whopping $20 a piece. We'll be selling DVD copies of the movie, and then we'll have some. There's some extras on it, and we have posters too. If anyone wants to buy a poster, I thought we're very pleased with our poster. I thought we're going to do some cheesy ass piece of crap, and it's like, oh, this turned out 1,000 times better than I thought it would. So, and it's our first experiment in doing anything like this. And hopefully it was like, oh, well, we made 100 DVDs. How many sell? 6. So, but we'll see. I think I'm a good enough salesperson and enough. I mean, can't have a better captive audience than a Frogman Festival to sell a movie about the Frogman.
No, you'll do really good with that because you took an Indrid Cold book last year that you wrote and sold out.
Sold it out. Yeah, sold it out. And,
so if you got Frogman DVDs or books, you're golden.
Yeah.
Halfway through the first day, I had 2 days to go. I sold out halfway through the day. I'm like, well, fuck.
Well, maybe we'll make a couple more. So it's an experiment for us. And again, we're not planning on getting rich. We just want to make enough money so we can make the next one and the next one and the next one.
Well, and I was going to say that, honestly, first of all, you're going to be welcomed with open arms. It is just the most not just inclusive community, but they love to support, people like yourself. They really do. Those people show up with all their money and they spend it all on you, and
Woohoo!
and it's beautiful. But you could honestly, I mean, if it does well, if you feel like it does well, you could think about crowdfunding this stuff. I mean, that's how Small Town Monsters did it, is
Yeah,
off of their fans, and they do it every year, and people show up for it because they want more. So
right.
if you did a good job, the audience will let you know, and if you did, they'll give you your money to do the next thing.
Oh, for
No, no,
sure.
and we haven't done that. I mean, for my Underground Railroad one, the Ripley one, we did actually do when we raised 7 or 8 grand off
Sure.
that. Was after
Yeah.
after the current administration stole our first grant. I was like, oh damn it! Here's
Well,
$4,000. Oh, it's gone. But
oh, gosh.
but yes, we're so yeah. That's and I my hope is that we can make 2 or 3 to make our street cred, and then we'll go out to the fans, and who knows, maybe we'll the next Radioactive Studios will be the next Small Town Monsters. So
Yeah,
a, ra-
absolutely.
a Radioactive Studios comes from when my friend Larry Hill brought over the Super 8 camera. We started making movies. Well, we got to have a studio. And we were at the local hospital, and they had signs for the radioactive waste that they were throwing away from doing, all these. And we stole the sign and we put it on the attic door to my parents' house. Radioactive Studios was born. And
Awesome.
so we're the 14-year-old boys are still alive making movies.
I love that. Well, where can people find you and follow, what you have going on for the future? People definitely want to, they're getting in early. Get in early, guys, while you can, right?
Well,
Jump on the deal quick.
we're sadly paying too much attention to movie making and not enough money to promotions. And sad, we probably will not have a website up by the time the festival comes, but we hope to in the next month or so. It's right now this mad rush just to make all the copies and get everything in line. We were like making these DVDs. We'll go to the local store and buy the cases and do it ourselves. They don't sell the cases anymore, so it's like
Yeah.
we're frantically search. I've got a couple sources, so we'll work it out. But yes, right now there is no place other than follow us on Facebook. We'll put up a Radioactive Studios Facebook page and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have more to share, just let me know. We'll plug it on the show. And
Right. Well, maybe in the future, come back and promote Dogman or Kecksburg or whatever.
yeah.
I'm happy to come back. It's been a hoot. It's been long since I've talked this long, so I'm kind of surprised I still have a voice.
We talk this long every Monday.
Every Monday, even longer usually.
Yeah. It was Halloween,
So
like 3 hours and 40 minutes or something.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, but I again appreciate you having you on. I look forward to
Yeah.
seeing folks at the Frogman Festival. Encourage everybody to come out, support Jeff Craig and the great work he does, and check out the Frogman movie.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on again. And
All right.
with that being said, guys, we'll see you back here next Wednesday.